So I've added filler all the way along the edge, sanded it down, give it a coat of primer, and now I'm just going to give it a fresh coat of paint. I'm using the same color that I used before. Before I did the modification. I like this shade of brown. It's a nice dirty looking brown. I think it'll match the other cardboard pretty good. When I originally painted it a couple weeks ago, I used a latex semi-gloss or latex eggshell finish paint, which normally would be okay, but the quality of the paint was kind of disappointing and it never hardened properly. After 2-3 weeks, latex paint should harden up quite solid, and it never did. And every time I set something on it, like the car float or whatever, it would leave a little mark in it. It really doesn't matter because eventually this is going to be covered with Envirotex for water, but it's going to be quite some time before I actually get around to doing that. So this needs to be fairly durable. So this time I'm painting it with an oil-based semi-gloss paint of the same color. And then I'm just going to roll them in here with one of these little foam rollers. These things work great. They don't leave much of a texture, and I can feather it out really nicely. So when it's done, it should look pretty nice. I spent quite a few years actually as a painter. My first job was a house painter, and I stuck with that for about 10-15 years actually, working as a residential painter and then eventually at a hospital. I was employed on staff at a hospital in Kitchener for about 6 years as a full-time painter. That's all I did was paint the hospital. It was a nice job, pretty cozy, but 6 years of painting a hospital beige got a little tiresome, so I left that job and decided to become a tool and die maker, which was a lot more interesting. But the advantage to that is it left me with a very handy skill, and that's knowing how to put a coat of paint on something. It's a blessing and a curse because I'm always painting something. I'm just kind of feathering this out, get rid of any lines, no blobs, and then just let this sit for a couple hours. It'll dry out fairly quickly. So there it is. All right, so we'll let that paint dry and see how everything fits together. Hopefully the car float will fit. Of course, I've already checked, but I'll check it again once the paint's dry. So here's the car float in place. It looks much better. It lines up properly now. Now if I extend the geometry of this track down to the float bridge, it lines up precisely with the track on the car float. And it adds a little bit of space now back here, so I've got enough room to do a treatment along the edge to put the piles in, and it all fits in better. So it was well worth the effort. Probably easier in the long run than to try and redo the geometry of the track leading into it. So I think it was worth the effort. A lot of work, but turned out okay. We're good to go. Woo.